Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Informed in 5. Today's guest is Tori Hopper. She is a children's and teens librarian at the Columbus-Lowndes Public Library system, and today she'll be talking about serving families with special needs at the Columbus-Lowndes Public Library system, as well as their upcoming free virtual family resource event held on Saturday, January the 23rd. Tori has a master's degree in library and information services from the University of North Carolina, and she has been with the Columbus-Lowndes Public Library system for 2 years. Thank you for joining me today, Tori.
Hi. All right, so I just wanted to give a quick overview of our Autism Resource Center here at the Columbus-Lowndes Public Library system. It's one of the very few resource centers we have in the state of Mississippi. But what is a resource center? So our Autism Resource Center is, we label it our ARC Center, and it is basically just a collection of materials that we have provided to the public for those on the autism spectrum, as well as any families with special needs. So it does not just stop at anybody with an autism spectrum diagnosis. It can extend to Asperger's, to Down syndrome, any kind of need that requires a little bit of extra care, and whether it be educational interventions or learning how to focus on emotional skill sets, things like that. We have some items here at the library that can always be of value and help to families with these individuals. And so we just wanted to run through. I'm going to share my screen and kind of give an overview of what our Autism Resource Center looks like. All right, so give me just 1 minute to do that. All righty. Okay, so this is, again, like I said, it's just a little overview, but I am going to go through my slides if I can get it pulled up correctly. All right, so again, like Brittany said in the introduction, my name is Tori Hopper, and I'm not going to go further into what she had already said, but I am the children's and teens librarian here at the library. So if you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to us at our Facebook page. We're very active on that page, as well as our Instagram, and you can always feel free to call us at the library here for any questions. We're always welcome for feedback. Anything that patrons want to see us host at the library, we're always open for event suggestions, things like that. But before I get any further, I do want to state that due to COVID-19 regulations right now, some of the items I'm going to be talking about are not currently in circulation because we want to cut down the spread of germs and keep everybody in our community and our staff safe. So there is a caveat with that. Our board of directors is the entity who tells us when we can start circulating these items again, but I still want to highlight them because they still are very valuable and can give you an idea of what to look at. And you can always come into the library and we can talk further about what items we have. We're unable currently to circulate them at this time. The books, however, that I'm highlighting are in circulation. It's just the manipulatives that have to be taken out and explored a little bit further. So let's go into that. Our Autism Resource Center was actually started by a Library Services and Technology Act grant, so it's federally funded, as well as with help from the Friends of the Library group here and the Mother Goose Endowment. Our Friends group at the library is phenomenal. They help us with so many different things. It's insane. I have not worked at a library before where the Friends group is so very supportive. So we're very blessed in that. And then it also, like I said and have been saying, it contains a wide range of manipulatives in the library as well as for checkout. We do have a couple of items that can't leave the library. For example, if you've ever seen those Peapod chairs, they're kind of like cushions. You blow them up, they're inflatable, and they're supposed to promote sensory awareness of one's own body. And it looks literally like a giant green pea pod. Unfortunately, those are so expensive that we have them in the library for people to experience here. We do have them in our programming, but we are unable to check them out because the fee, if somebody were to lose them or something were to happen to them, it would be an astronomical fee that we're not going to put on our patrons to replace that. So we also, again, like I said, have an entire collection of books focused on autism as well as other special needs. And I did want to highlight 2 books that I just pulled off our shelf a couple hours ago. They're available for checkout if you have a library card. And one of the books is called Autism Heals. And this is just a book from, let me see if you can see that. Sorry about the glare. It's very bright outside today. But Autism Heals is just a story of a female's life on the autism spectrum. That is one area of autism that isn't given a lot of spotlighting. Generally speaking, most autism diagnoses, you hear more about males having it than you do females, and how they go through their education stories and their journeys of the diagnosis and learning more about it, but you don't really see a lot of female stories. So that is one book we have in the collection. And we also have, along with books that adults can read and help and apply in their own lives, we do have books for children. And one of my favorite right now is called Nathan's Autism Spectrum Superpowers. And so it goes through Nathan's story, and it gives you little writing prompts throughout the books as well. And I did want to turn to a page. It's very well illustrated, and it gives you different strategies to have in case something unplanned happens, and there's different methods for coping, for emotional skill development and things like that. So that's just one book we have in our collection that helps children to understand how to adapt to their environment around them. All right, and then this is our Art Center cabinet. This is where we host all of our manipulatives. It's just a quick screenshot of what one shelf in the cabinet has. I wanted to share that because I was trying to share what we have without kind of picking you up like we're on a FaceTime and going over there. This is basically an inventory list of what we have on this one shelf, which this shelf is the basic and life skills shelf. So for example, on that shelf, we will have survival signs and symbols flashcards. And this is a great way to educate children who need a little bit more help, or even, I think all children need help understanding survival signs and things like that, and what specific signs do they see, whether it be on the street, whether it be on a fire hydrant, a fire extinguisher cabinet in a building. Regardless, everybody needs to know what these symbols are for. So this is just a great little flashcard set that shows you the different kinds of symbols and what they mean. And it's a great way to educate anybody about those symbols. And that, again, is on our basic and life skills shelf. So like I said, it can apply to a wide range of people looking for resources to help educate their children about that. And then the second manipulative I have is on a different shelf in that cabinet, but it is our Uppercase Sandpaper letters. So this is a great way to learn your letters and have a sensory element added on. All the letters are going to be on a card like so, but this tan part is actually sandpaper, so they can feel it with their fingers. It's a little bit rougher. The card is red and smooth, and it's a great way to just have that added sensory element to help it be a little bit more memorable in that child's mind if they need it. And that is on the second shelf with a lot more reading, writing, and learning manipulatives. And then back onto that basic and life skills shelf, we have tempertators and chill skills. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's just a box full of prompt cards, and it talks to you about how to help your child learn emotional skills. So when your child is having a temper tantrum, quote unquote, or they're just having an overwhelming reaction to something because they can't process what has happened, or they're not okay with what has happened, and they don't have the emotional skill set to say, I'm not okay with this, here's why. They just kind of blow up like we all kind of wish we could at some time. So it's a great way to prompt those discussions with your child about, okay, why do we react this way? And how can we change that in the future when this kind of situation happens again? So it's like a whole stack of them in here. They're all throughout different topics, but this is kind of what a card looks like. And then the back of this card, it asks, have you ever reacted to anger in a way that got you in trouble with adults at home? What happened? And then it asks them to share what happened. So it's a great way to start those conversations, like I said. And those are just a few of the manipulatives that we have in the cabinet. And that's kind of what we've got going on here at the library for checkout. And then we also do provide programming. Again, with the COVID-19 restrictions in place right now, we cannot provide in-person programming. But when we did have in-person programming, we'd have a monthly sensory story time where we'd have a story time surrounding a pop-up book or a book with some kind of element that we could touch, we could feel, we could talk about it a little bit further in depth than we would a normal story. And then we would have some sensory play, whether it be with our P-pods, different kind of latchkey puzzles, dress up dolls, dress up manipulatives, things like that. We had a shoe tie, or excuse me, we do have a shoe tie manipulative that helps children learn how to tie their shoes, things like that we would incorporate into our sensory story time Saturdays. And then finally, we also have our yearly ARC night. So that this year is going to be a little bit different, and it is actually something we want to plug here because it's happening on January the 23rd. That's a Saturday at 10 a.m. via Zoom. So right like we're in a Zoom room right now, we'll have different organizations from across the Columbus Golden Triangle community come and talk about how they help families with special need individuals and how they service those families with special needs in our community. So we have a wide variety of people coming from music therapy to vision therapy to the Mississippi Parent Training Initiative is coming as well. And so we have a whole group of people who are ready to talk about what they can do for our community. And, you know, they're going to talk about the services they provide, just all kinds of things. And it's just going to be in a simple Zoom room, and they'll talk, they'll share their screens, they'll answer any questions that you may have, and just provide a general overview of what they can do. And then if they can serve you in any way, that would be a great opportunity for you to follow up with them. And it's just one way we try to host that kind of space with the library. We try to provide a space where people feel welcome and they feel like they are being listened to. And that's kind of ties in with the crowdsourced programs point we have on our ARC programming. If somebody has a program they want to see, they have something like maybe a book they haven't seen on our shelves, but they want to be able to check it out, we're always looking for feedback, for recommendations, anything like that, that will help us grow our community and keep it a place that people find to be relevant and informational, because that's our number one priority here, is we want to provide information to our patrons as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And if we don't have that information on our hands, we are going to go find it for you and help you get connected to those organizations that you may need. All right, so that is basically a quick overview of our Autism Resource Center here at the Columbus-Lowndes Public Library System. And I want to thank y'all so much for watching this short video. And if you have any questions, you can follow up with us. The Columbus-Lowndes Public Library is on Facebook, it is on Instagram, and our phone number is 662-329-5300. And again, my name is Tori Hopper. I am the Children and Teen Librarian here. And I just, again, want to thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much, Tori, for coming on today and sharing all that wonderful information. And the MSPTI is really looking forward to joining you and the other families for your upcoming virtual family resource event. So we hope to see you all there.
Awesome. Hope to see you there too. Bye.
Bye.